sesi na mindin komo kakra na mene lawyer Joseph Oti Esrifi Mensa or executive secretary Edma Takrade Technical University Vice Chancellor was signed AM Brenimni Endi and komo kakra. Council an appointment come marching.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Johnson about
Yamiadum Yahoye Pam, Patamidi Samus Mohoye Pa.
Radiadum Boko. Now, dear Mr. Mammy, see Kaka.
Patamiti.
I feel that you were more long, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
I know, council.
Title, SSN.
I'm not just a Esquani Yamba, oh.
I
can't crabby ever, that's a pa. Somewhere last week, and your chance on article be a natural. I think they're proud to election 2024. Never bring on po kase. So man penida da Mahama sign eba ansha na onya hoko betumi amend the constitution. Emana koba say 4 years pe a kanu esese otumi didi man penino ebi kura tumi aba beka ho. Yahu say what show say possible ebetumi so aba say enye possible. Wadaruma ana paper say esua de kakra. What are the possibilities and the impossibilities of this very issue?
No, but that's not been what here for. The kind president be anywhere, and our company be anywhere. Obetini, I didn't to me, and there's a Sambra Bia or Ghana. Under your constitutional democracy, I woman. Now, it's answer, she, and I say, but Sambra, and I be too regular. A parliament, a Juma. And my Sebe Jomona, you be Shemra.
Right.
My Sebe Jomona opposite the Tumra, a Gunswa, over time for my Sebe Jomona, now to mind you go. Say, maintain wants to be so bad and Bremois, not at the court Supreme Court. And see, President Bien, who are no ability, a Gianni, to me so, where your rap on say, was too media assent anymore. Your Kaka President, you bet the emergency powers are constitution, my president, say, be a dubra, or my name, ding. And I say, be a only be a talk, and I be a to Kobiasi, and I say, so from and I gave you a one to mine now, you won't hear you know. President Liberty may evoke the emergency powers. Maybe a Washemra, say, be a more BNP, more BNQ. Those restrictions are allowed.
And then by the veto power, no.
Yes, the president can exercise the veto power, no. Okay. But emergency powers, no, say, the COVID-19 say, or a constitution now. You found with you under fundamental human rights.
Yeah.
Now, so said the business not say the attention debate me up bring the power President Bitnaka said, if we ne equals na more BNP COVID-19 by a movie. And then to be a CEO Boko is okay. Obia on found you so be P. No, and now said President Boni Panage at the home bank. President Asher Master, if you know Sian or Paco Sinusian, more BNP. Those powers are given by the president under the Emergency Act, and it is exercised in accordance with the Constitution. No,
right.
Nayamra, said the Yamana Kafa, Omampanibi, the betting Aquabasa could be more. Osha in Constitution, Article 66, I think the 1 or 2, other culture was said. Omampani bia ya to aba ayi no ensinfo a me kan be say efieti ni yie pa omampani bia ya to aba emphasis on ya to aba omampani bia ya to aba yi no owo kwan so be son Ghana infie 9 osun fie 9 ni ya e ma no sama no kwan se obesa ko infie 9 give aka wo prekope
sure
enti okon fie 9 ni di kan ni bia obesa ko infie 9 ba ko aka wo so pe so pa guadia na se so qualify bit na ko okon fie na na to so ni media e prekope onko bi adona article 61 66 12 no eka na article 66 12 ya no en shedan na o pe se so dipa na eko ne fie na ai dikan na owie na se okoje na home ana wotu kwan ana wa ma biem no kotena fie no oba obetima san akobie mana entubere a enfie ben yenu ni yebra ken kranche etabi sa atekọ na ediko court And I can quanti air patch, I say. Your mum penny, was about your mum penny out of money, if you January 7th, Elcon.
Yeah.
One to me sound one whom you give no answer every year. This one said, Article 66(1), I can't say. So who did man penny and penua? I was a young to us walk.
I see.
In the man penny, John Dramani Mahama, on to me conquer Jina Home, and sound constance or baby. The court not to nothing, not your name. The kind of second quarter court in Pinu. The kind of court make us say, one far crime on here. The tossing the court not up to nothing, much you say, bear now what you said, out in you know, yeah. And don't you know, sir, dispute in the year for you. The year for one say, so Nipano, or court in a home, abo, and I say in fear and what you know, all quite what was so. The Supreme Court actually says 56 ain't so beyond quite so be complaining. And they got the Oko in Fiena, if he be 1982, 1996. Oko, you are home here 2020, waiting us under you. Supreme Court and Ackley and what you feel. Now, young wanted to say, the one penny every year or one penny in 2012 thereabouts, Ubekaya, you are President Mills, you film, and over to the expiration of the term of President Mills. That time, he was sworn in by the procedures of our law, but he was not an elected president. In Tizabra, Obedi Mantoni, and Cajon, and Washiago. 2012, and no didn't move it now, Ghana for two about the man. And at 2016, went to me answer you. In 2 years, John Dramani Mahama, why president after 4 years, Bakope. Bakona or 2 years at a most of the big corridor, and Cajon because he was not an elected president.
Sure.
Now, Sabria, that's what about Eddie Mamman. January 7th, the best runner as elected president. Cabin and then we the Imperial or year of 2024, 2028. Like I said, the second term as regulated by the 66(1) and 2. Now was year. Now, the baby say, there, we are. I couldn't be one of it, my son, as a second term now. The whole constitution is here, the body are on to Minko. On to Minko. Then so, constitution, ya, a Ghana, Mapona, a boy, a home grano. Baby, or Horoma, a man who kinds of big Nako. So, the amendment to our constitution, Emra, excess, you make him as a cry, Yemremuno, is in chapter 25 of our constitution, specifically on Article 289. Okay, Article 289, things somewhere 291 there about now. It's how I make my answer Yemrem. Now, your one you know our constitution, it says, make my answer Yemrem. The other kind of year. And many people are entrenched provisions. Entrenched provisions, a bra, Omoya constitution in 1982. No. Omoya many be said, Sambano, Yamfa and Sanka, a macho provision, Yamko. It be a minimum found with you.
Right.
It be the appointment of Supreme Court judge. It be the terms of office of the president. It be the appointment of the electoral commission. It be the appointment of the court of appeal judge. Some many in an AMRA. I don't know what the one saka a macho provisions in the constitution. And I other maybe or a war hand, I don't know. Parliament now between us and the sheriff and Edia is a kind of bomb. And the macho provisions. And I said, my entity and fine Sankano. They are entrenched provisions in the constitution, which are laid in Article 290. Now, entrenched provision, okay, 290 now. Okay, that was said. So, entrenched provision, and son, now wait, Matisano, I guess a Ghana for them. I guess that minimum you know I Ghana for no ye bem. Now that entrenched provision it be Article 66(1) and 2. 66(1) and 2 and the president at the Kofi watch it. O Kofi watch ni dia on to medium. Now some 290 a catcher will say that entrenched provision you bet him at the same Ghana bit my same a quite a bit my same a quite a bit my same we say Parliament. Hello.
Mpacho mitiopa.
Mpacho timenta.
Mpacho mitiopa mete onkapa.
a quite a bit must or the same the provision in 290 and they say
yeah
I was said a buying or no etisono onye nipa dodo e parliament
mhm
you know can say meaning say mo dem na mo ye ansentrofo o ye figures na se sia e wo na o mu say e bi enso e ko nwotwe emma electoral commission emfa ne nansi su dia de nanso e na se bedwomfo a wo mo e wo se say edom dodo no ye NDC no o mu twam akọ ha ne e de o twi nyenu e de o twi nsan but 182 183
one manya say say ampo one manya 2/3 na ma na bro
aha
yeah
as I say no say man say me say there must until the enfant say omanya manabo so because by the numbers it should be around 182 or 183
yeah
it's no omanya but 183
sure
until the moment that you have that super majority in parliament and after the absolute majority in parliament you know it means say on one side you know parliament itself led by the super majority everything assistant emblem is that say with the entrenched provision you know and man who says, officer entrenched provision. The kind you rely on the provisions of Article 290. I know that catcher will say also submitted a bill at the Council of State. What they do in the Council of State? Don't forget, say the members of the Council of State are also appointees of the current president or the sitting president. But they cannot appear.
Yeah.
It's a Council of State members, you know. Omana or my penny no, ono you and for name, penny form, and form money and one you and he said, what they do call the Council of State. The possibility said on the background to the Council of State, no, high. That's about is very high. Now, when the Council of State refers that particular bill, consider that particular bill. Now, a man say a Council of State. Every 30 days. After 30 days, Council of State, then you run in through a gazette. Gazette, then it fully becomes operational to be considered by Ghanaians.
I see.
Now, after the period of the gazette, you know, the event said, meaning said 1982, now when you fika kra. And 1992, you have point atumuno. That's a name of Boca State College. Omoyem consultative assembly AM in a year. Omodi Basagana for na yam to swab and to say 1982 constitution, yeah, panatium, you call referendum and to about no and yes. Because at that time, by referendum time, you have to exercise your power as a citizen for your vote is your power. Because at that, you know, the Council of State, you know, at the 2 year gazetting, yeah. Now, fear the Sir Embrano amendment, the Ediaba, the Ghana of way. The next say President Biabeko in film channel. If you say what your system now occur in fear edumino, and I near brosa. And the Ebetuaba. And now they say, Sir about Tulumono. I was a nipa do and I walk the part voter. I was a more at your 9, a more M9. If the voters are, say, 10, it should be voted on by 40 of the electorate.
That is 40%.
Yes, 40%.
Okay.
40%. And the are 2 in area. Yet vote, I had the approval vote of the amendment. It should be 75% of the valid yes vote cast. And you know,
out of the 40% I bet to abano minimum no. As a 40% you strike here, 75% to yes.
2 years of the valid votes.
I see.
Of the valid votes. And then you know, say who enemy and if you say, oh, President Mahama 4 years no crampo no you can submit a bill, you take it to the Council of State, you gazette, you run it through a referendum. Ghana for or your son in said, I also President Mahama. And as a president, be a term, a 12 years. Then it comes back to Parliament. The yes votes come back to Parliament. Now, the Parliament, I'm only true for the president to sign. Now, I think I can say, only the whooping margin John Dramani Mahama in the last election.
Yeah.
That even took him to close to 57%.
Sure.
Of the total valid votes cast.
Yeah.
And he will need about 20% more. Yes, to cross the 75% of the vote to validate a third term.
I see.
And on a money you and it is a NDC 42, NDC in Parliament editum, Council of State edituma. Ebeka say Ghana for the dona so bad day.
Ebejatum.
And Sana Sans is in the but you know it looks very difficult, but possible under the provisions in Article 290 of our Constitution.
But I open yan show say kobasa we no any contradiction of Article 66 and Article 290 are they not contradictory because 66 no state clear say omampani bia enkom bro 2 terms and Article 290 no so abama a certain window as or the ntokra aba beto ho any contradictory.
And contradictory or can be also. I wanted to refer to a particular case, but the case doesn't come to mind.
Okay.
Now, the substantive decision of the Supreme Court may say any amendment to our Constitution should be internal to the Constitution. It means that Bibia against Sakaba in Constitution, also Constitution na Emma Humbra. To Article 66(1), it is in the Constitution.
Okay.
And how to deal with Article 26, Article 66, 1 and 2, it is also in the Constitution.
And that's just within the confines of the same wall.
Of the Constitution.
I
yes.
see.
In the Article 290, no, it has an effect on Article 61. And once those provisions, all those two provisions are in the Constitution, there are no conflict of laws. There are no conflict of laws. Don't forget, say, Emrano, I will say, you didn't believe in
yeah.
And the blue baby, you say, Emrano, also, the system Mukaka. The Constitution allows it. But the Omo Emrano, Omo Junior will say, I was here and said about a better dim pass basis Emrano. And not in here, or the number across 75%. For you to get 75% of the total vote of Ghana to change a particular provision, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
It means that then that particular change is of substantial value to the welfare of Ghanaians. And Tiamra.
Wow. But Council, do you see Ghana going through this process in the next 4 years? Once I said the thought is being provoked at the Dankrofon, even before election. Do you see us trying something like this?
Let me first answer it in this way. Also, the amendment to the entrenched provisions of the Constitution is contained in Article 290.
Yeah.
Now, Article 289 also gives Parliament the power to do certain amendments to the laws without Article 290. If you know, we can say, okay, that area, then with the huge numbers NDC in Parliament, they can change the provisions in Article 290 and say okay, if you know, you have to change the entrance provision of Constitution, you call referendum, Parliament there. But they make a minimum society up there.
Yeah.
That with the supermajority that NDC have in Parliament, they can rely on Article 289 and say, no, henceforth, we are going to do an amendment to Article 290, which says that you go to referendum. And we change the provision in Article 290 and put the review of the entrance provisions within the mandate of Parliament, so that Parliament will do the amendment of the entrance provisions, but will not go to the people. But you see, that is also an impossibility. It's also the entrenched provisions, it also include Article 290. And to be honest, you can't touch Article 290 unless you go through a referendum. That is number one. Number two, whether or not a possibility, I have my doubt. It's say already among factors, where the Miana make count, we have read it across the board. Say,
yeah.
President Mahama Abedi Assembly member, wabe DC was the DC I mean waba parliament as MP waba be minister waba be vice president waba president 1 and waba president 2 no I say this ain't change the constitution you know sama president 3 I don't think say it will resonate with the conscience of every Ghanaian that we should allow that to change. That is my view, cutting through the understanding of Ghanaians and reading through the minds of Ghanaians.
Yeah.
And even the NDC also have another layer to cross because by the current state of our constitution, President Mahama 18 Accord 4 year tempe. And if you want to perpetuate the state of the president on the seat, Ghana for the say and the NDC if it's them everything no. Omoni obian who betting the party apart from President Mahama.
Sure.
And for me, I think that there are people of high credibility and repute and the political year omo NDC wa. Said this ye man penny President Mahama anywhere. Obetin abeden abefa Frank Ara na to Edema party no. And these arguments in my opinion would defeat any attempt to cause an amendment to the constitution and then let President Mahama stay for another term.
I see.
Another term of it. And then there's also this argument say, okay, why don't we go to Supreme Court and find out the interpretation of the constitution? You overkaya. Ebra ora babin. Aye not being said we're explaining the provisions in Article 97(1) that got to do with the whether or not a certain MP after having resigned from the party can still contest and all those things. Yes. Here are further marking Echo Supreme Court. One on the fact that Speaker have violated the right conferred in Supreme Court to make an interpretation. And secondly, find out the interpretation of Article 271J. And in the same vein, somebody can also go to court, to the Supreme Court, wanting to seek an interpretation of Article 6612. Say, okay, Supreme Court, determine for us whether Article 6612, no, XSA, the president is bound to go for a consecutive term. That is also a possibility. But the end of the conversation is that I don't see the NDC doing that. I don't see the NDC parliament, either NDC as a party or NDC in parliament, using or abusing the supermajority and then allowing to perpetuate the term of the president. Politically, it will be suicidal to the party itself.
I see.
And I'm sure that Ghanaians will vote against it. And the international community in Krampono, it will cut a slur on the democratic history and development of Ghana because we have done over the last 40 years to manifest our democratic country and allowing the constitution to go, especially with the terms of the president and that of parliament. And any attempt to perpetuate the state of the president, I don't think that within the global community, Ebema Ghana a very good name. But within the constitution, a possibility.
Okay. All right. So it is possible within the constitution, somewhere, somehow impossible within the framework of the party.
It is possible.
I tell you. I see. Me that's a power council. Now, what that my way, I mean, so we need brebe, but Ansana Obekono. Last Friday, an electoral commission, or Thursday rather, an electoral commission ebe declare some constituencies are yadi kind abano yabobo obe declare no void say declaration no one more chances and they will have to recollect those results. Dome kwa benya ka ho fantia kwa north ka ho akwetia and say some of the constituencies they were being declared under duress. Emma NDC amayo konso kwa court akwa injunction ababeto the coalition of Nsawoma Doejire so ababaye one time. Nanke nim sense mbisi ye declare wie mpo a na so bi ntine ho asanka high court nanka ese eko dia ekwe ye manage ni yie.
Asana kwa ebo fonda dia fan. Baby etwa. Mamiti mu kakra.
Mitie.
Election petition. In respect of election of an MP, no, a high court any determine.
Yeah.
And any dispute via the validity of election of a member of parliament, no, it is to be decided by the High Court. Now, over in CI 75 now, they can't say the High Court has the jurisdiction over determining the election of an MP.
Right.
What are you saying? I think Article 99 of our Constitution. Yes, Article 99 of our Constitution, 91A, you know, and so about the election of a member of Parliament. It to be determined by the High Court. Even beyond that, if you read through, I think Section 16 of the People's Representative Act, PNDC Law 284, there about I think 16, Section 16 now. It also speaks to the fact that dispute in respect of election of an MP, you know, it's resolved by the High Court. And, you know, both the CI, both the People's Representative Act of PNDC Law 284, no, any Article 99(1)(a) in Aka say dispute be about the a High Court. But there are preconditions to that one. What are the preconditions? I say answer you declare say declare another prayer and I say the NDC no and elected by Parliament, you know. It is not a fully official declaration. And I'll explain why. It is not a fully official declaration. It's not said the CI 175, CI 75, and if you example the Article 191, the catch that was saying, so your declaration is here. It should take 21 days for it to be gazetted. It should take 21 days for the declaration to be gazetted. And until that gazetting is done, the Electoral Commission can take attempts to correct anomalies and irregularities in respect of the numbers. And there's a case to that.
Not just before the 21 days, you know, and Brebia match a trace our declaration, you know.
But
not just before the 21 days, Ebenya and Sanya Gazette, you know, and Brebia should match a tray declaration, and didn't say you did to make a High Court.
You see, that power is in the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
But not with the parties.
Okay.
You should be very careful. Where, because of inter IPAC meetings and all those hearings being given to the parties, we are allowing the political parties to meddle with the constitutional powers given to the Electoral Commission. Because, yes, even in the CR 127, okay, recollation can be done at all levels when requested before the declaration of the results. When requested, recollation can only be done when requested before the declaration of the results. Before. So once the declaration is done, a party to the election, the political parties cannot go for recollation. They cannot go for recollation. It is the exclusive right of the Electoral Commission to determine whether or not it must correct an anomaly with the results. And after the result is gazetted in 21 days, the Electoral Commission cannot touch the results, MPP cannot touch the results, NDC cannot touch the results, Supreme Court cannot touch the results. And after the gazette, any disputing party, including the Electoral Commission itself or the political parties, have to go to the High Court.
High Court, yeah.
For interpretation. So in this case, I must say, in some Fantiaqua, all other areas are or more central or some areas, or more results, where the results officially declared by the returning officer, not any other person.
In some instances, the Electoral Commission claims said their officers were put under duress to declare.
That should be subjected to. That should be subjected to approved by a superior authority. And, if you are saying that your officers were put under duress or stress, and therefore in the defense of their life, they had to, do any declaration and go out. That should be subjected to a proof.
Okay.
Because electoral commission cannot determine whether or not it was under duress.
Yeah.
And you can go to court and question whether or not the person was under duress. But if there are substantial evidence to prove that the person declared the results under the threat of his life, then the commission has the right on its own to correct those anomalies and then come up with the right results. But where electoral commissioner, and not just electoral commissioner, the person mandated to do the declaration, in this case, the returning officer, and I'm very serious about the word returning officer, because the law empowers or mandates only one person, the returning officer, in a sane mind, to do the declaration, unless under certain conditions that power has been ceded authoritatively to another body. As a returning officer, after the collation of the various polling station results, and make a declaration there, then you cannot alter that declaration. If that declaration was not done, or was done in a manner that contravened the declaration, then the commission can come back to it and then remedy.
Right.
And for me, Matisse say, Omasisa, Abanibi, they are called police depot.
Yeah.
We should also take note, say, the movement of the election results from one jurisdiction to another, beyond the original constituency to collect it. It does not breach the provisions of the law. No.
Okay.
Provided the declaration has not been done. And before say, baby, I don't say parties in Yabote. Then electoral commission exercising the power given by the CI 127 and the CI 75, and then in the provisions laid in Article 43.
I see. Now, damn, some way, somehow, we have interesting days ahead, though.
Oh yes, we have a lot of interesting days ahead, and because the numbers that the NDC has garnered in Parliament, it gives them power to do a lot of things, and I'm sure that with the caliber of persons within the NDC, they will use those powers responsibly.
Yeah.
Because we have known, say, power corrupts. But absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Right.
In the case of the numbers that the MPP or those in the opposition have in Parliament, it is close to negligible. Because without your numbers, they can take decisions. Without your numbers, the only thing that perhaps for political strategy the MPP can do is that they must constitute another Parliament outside Parliament. Maybe yes, it is possible. If you constitute another Parliament outside Parliament. Let me explain before I get far of the law. By politically constituting another Parliament outside Parliament is that they must also come back and engage in press conferences so that their voice can be heard.
Yeah.
But in the press conference outside Parliament, the audience is the whole Ghana.
Yeah.
But in the conversation in Parliament, the audience is the MP themselves and few journalists who are present.
Yeah.
And Parliament, not say with your micro minority, you must come back to the gallery, which is the population, and do those things. But I'm sure, say, beyond the argument and the rancor and acrimony outside, in Parliament, they appear to be friends. And I'm sure, say, they will almost Ghana, and Kanko, Ebeto Makomaso.
Right.
Now, at the end of the day, Ghana, you be tumpo.
Sure.
And only idea.
Sure. Council, I no pay my that's a power for the exclusive education with their mind. In fact, you know, when you better attend this in MPP before you be about for consultation because you have a lot of taxes. That's be beyond such a yard and patch you bedding come up.
Miss Medase, I mean,
Oti Fabian Kakra.
Afaka.
Yes, many opinion.
We shall form one of A+.
Yeah.
Great plus Martinenka, Unya Butre, Martinenka also begins asking your money, Unya.
Oh, and Obefa lawyer cry one or no be it, Obefa was in the lawyer. All right, can't say that's no pay.
Miss Medase.
Yeah, that's a pa. And you know.